You don't have to give up on your dream job to love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your strength. But you might have to give up on your dreams because whatever you dreamt up for your future when you were not a Christian isn't motivated by God. Everything you do for God, and that means because of God. Let me give you an anecdote of my current position. This is like a confession. I want to go to London and be a musical theatre writer. Nothing wrong with that, but what is wrong is that I feel like almost as if I can't live without it. I feel exactly like the rich man that Jesus told to sell his possessions and give to the poor. Dejected. I can't imagine being satisfied in my current place for the rest of my life. This is adultery. Let me take you to James chapter 4, which is a warning against worldliness or it's about quarreling. But I heard a great sermon on it from church, which had this beautiful nugget of truth that I want to share. What causes quarrels and what causes fights among you? Is it not this, that your passions are at war within you? You desire and do not have, so you murder. You covet and cannot obtain, so you fight and quarrel. You do not have because you do not ask in prayer. You ask in prayer and do not receive because you ask wrongly to spend it on passions. You adulterous people. Do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Therefore, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God. Or do you suppose it is to no purpose that the scripture says he yearns jealously over the Spirit he has made to dwell in us? Convicting, right? Let's take it back to what Jesus said about adultery. He said, "But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart." He says that in Matthew chapter 5 verse 28. So if you have a passion, a desire for anything that is not your spouse, you prove that you are not satisfied with them. And that's usually not their fault. Same goes for God. We are witnesses to the truth that God has saved us from sin and has given us eternal life with Him. You are my shepherd, I shall not want. There will be no longing because we'll have everything we want. God is infinitely pleasurable to us, so anything that gives this much pleasure, you can't see it because my hand's stretched all the way up. Anything that's this much pleasure is literally next to nothing compared to God. Do the math. So if you're satisfied or seek satisfaction in anything but Him, you are testifying a lie that God is not as good as He is. So I know I won't have my current job forever, and I want to be prepared for the day that I have to look for work. But I see a lot of need, and there's a lot of good I could do with God's grace. That brings me back to James chapter 4, verse 6. But He gives more grace. Therefore it says, God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Draw near to God and He will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Be wretched and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves before the Lord and He will exalt you. When you confess adultery to your spouse, aren't you crying? Your joy and laughter in adultery is turned to mourning and gloom and wretchedness and weeping and humility before your spouse. I'm finding it a hard time imagining a spouse forgiving you even at this display of emotion, but God will. And more than forgiveness, He He will exalt you. So God will help you be satisfied in Him. Do you think that writer of Psalm 119, who wrote this amazingly, immensely long love poem to God, wrote it before he read the scriptures? He says, "With my whole heart I seek you, I have stored up your word in my heart. In the way of your testimonies I delight as much as in all riches. I will meditate on your precepts, I will not forget your word, I will delight in your statutes." Like, John Piper's built a large chunk of his career out of this idea of desiring God. So now let me bring it back to dreaming. This, in the last thing that I'll read from James 4, it's the thing that I remembered from James 4 before I knew it was from James. It says, verse 13, "Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a town and spend a year there and trade and make profit, yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you want to say, if the Lord wills, we will do this or that." So it's not wrong to seek a career being your own boss, even if it's a secular career. I may well be in London writing musicals later in my life, or even soon, I don't know. And I need to be satisfied in Him who does know. I don't seek satisfaction in the idea of this career. Instead, I pray, God, this is what I want to do. If it happens without you, it is sinful. So if you want it to happen, make it so. I will do my bit. But I will follow you and your lead the whole way. Let me not be satisfied in this, in anything on this planet, but let me be satisfied only in you, God. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.